Was she because she was a cop or because she was just like a random person?
Wait, do you think it's okay to lady cops?
I don't care about cops. If somebody's targeting you because you're a cop, I hope you get a humane treatment.
Where does your brain go?
Is the increasing provocative actions towards China. That's very dangerous. By now, there's constant talk about what's called the China threat. You even read it in sober, reasonable, usually reasonable journals about the terrible China threat. Well, what is, and we have to move expeditiously to contain and limit the China threat. And what exactly is the China threat?
I mean, they threatened to initiate war with us yesterday.
Actually, that question is rarely raised here. It is discussed in Australia, the country that's right in the claws of the dragon. So recently, the distinguished statesman, former Prime Minister Paul Keating, did have an essay in the Australian press about the China threat. He finally concluded, realistically, that the China threat is China's existence. The US will not tolerate the existence of a state that cannot be intimidated the way Europe can be.
Wait, what? China has bent over backwards to make themselves an amenable partner for our economic interests. They have sweatshops across the breadth of their territory to make themselves good for us. We've traded with them extensively. Europe has said no to us. What? Also, they got intimidated by a fucking 82-year-old woman flying over to an adjacent country. What? This is like such propagandizing. The idea that like there's something unique about how China won't get along with us or whatever. It's basic geopolitics. Obviously, America wants all countries to be subservient to it. All countries want all countries. He's an anarchist. He should know this. That's the nation. That's the nature of nation states. Like, yeah, that's not like a unique thing. We didn't threaten them. They threatened us.
That does not follow U.S.
China isn't a nation state? Brandy, you've been co-posting for chat in a while, and I normally don't care, but I desperately need context on this. What the f do you mean China isn't a nation state? I need to know what you mean by that. I can't move on until I know. This is like a new Tankie line I'm unfamiliar with. They're not a nation state. They're like the people's territory? What? What does that mean? It's in their constitution? Oh, it's in their constitution. Wait. It's multi-ethnic? Brandy, do you think that a nation state can only be comprised of one ethnicity? The only person I've ever heard that argument from before was a neo-Nazi. They recognize 56 ethnicities? What, are you of the opinion? Yes, that's what a nation is. Oh my God. I can't, like making the point for me here. Oh my God. Yeah, as opposed to all other nations in the world, which are, what, ethno-states? Also, the idea that you can make a country not want to jump on Discord? Oh my God, you know what? Yeah, I actually do. Just DM me on Discord. Why not?
Hello?
Howdy.
You can hear me, right?
Yes, I can. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
All right. So, do you know the definition of a nation? Do you know like the Benedict Anderson definition?
The Benedict... Oh, Christ. Do you play Hearts of Iron?
No.
What do you waste your time with instead of
Universalis
going
4,
outside?
which is the
There it is.
superior version.
Okay, gotcha. Right. No, I don't know it. I also don't care about it. Nation is a country. I don't care about any
No,
definition.
nation is not a
No,
country. A
yes
state
it is.
is a
Nope. Yeah, I don't
No,
care.
oh
Don't
my
care.
God,
No,
you don't even know what a nation is,
no.
bro.
It's that nobody cares.
Do you know? Okay,
Nobody
do you know?
cares. No,
Do you know?
nobody cares. No, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Right off the bat. Have you
Do you
heard of
know
this
where
18th
the
century
nation
philosopher who
nationalism
spit?
came from?
Have you heard of the
I-
etymology? Disregard all actual use of the term nation state. Let's return
I'm
back
actually giving you an
to the days
academic.
people
I'm
took
trying
wind
to
baths
have
on
an
hilltops.
actual discussion with you, bro.
You
Come on.
wait. You opened with
Do
the
you know where
EU4. There's no
nationalism
reason for me
comes
to take
from?
you
Do you
seriously.
know the origins of it?
The origins of nationalism.
Yeah.
Well, I would say it would be from the nation state because they have
But where?
similar.
Okay, so where
Mhm.
does the nation state come from?
The nation state is a modern geopolitical unit.
Okay, so what?
I don't
Okay,
know, like, but where it comes from, it can answer that in like 50 ways, right? Like that's
no,
pretty.
no, no. There is a there's actually a historical definition for
Oh.
where a nation state comes
Wait,
from.
do you
There's
just use
actually
historical definitions?
yes,
What word
because
do you
that's
use
how
to
we know
refer to
what
black
reality
people?
is and how it develops over time.
Wait, you can only know what reality is by using old, obsolete
No,
definitions of
we
things.
know how these structures are formed and how our reality functions based on the past.
Okay, gotcha. But
Do you
by
know what
only
historical
using old
materialism
terms.
is?
Historical. Wait, no, I don't. That term wasn't used in the 15th century.
Oh, good. Actually, I think dialectics is
I don't
way
think
older than
historical
that.
materialism had come about in the
Okay,
15th
you just
century. I'm
gonna
pretty
troll me,
confident.
or do you want to
No,
have an
it's
honest?
just like well, I have to wait. Do you consider yourself a socialist?
Yes, that's why I'm against nationalism. And anybody who talks
Uh-huh.
about nationalism and calls himself as a socialist is a liar,
Wait, just talks about? Like we can't even
or
mention it?
like
Like
supports
Voldemort?
any nationalist movements is a liar. Because nationalism is a disease. It's
Uh-huh.
also like a European invention. Why would you want something that came from the 30 Years' War in Europe?
Well, are you one of those
And
people who thinks the Europeans invented everything? That's pretty racist.
oh my God, you don't know what?
Yeah, I
Okay,
personally, I
do you
think
know
that
what?
black and brown
Do you know
people can
what?
also
Do
invent
you know?
things.
Do you know when I say peace over Westphalia is?
Peace over Westphalia?
Peace off Westphalia. My bad. That's
Peace
what.
of no, I don't know what you're referring to here.
Okay, so this is where we come. This is where the historical origins of a nation state slash
Wait, people are
modern
talking
states
about
come from.
EU4. Is this like a tech tree thing?
Oh my
Is it like
God,
when you
I have
when you
a.
level up to the Iron Age, you get the Peace of Westphalia
Oh God,
civ
dude, are you
development and
serious?
it gives
You're
you
just going to
guns?
troll me because you don't actually
Now
know
people
the
in chat were just
background
bringing
of
up
what you're talking.
EU4. So wait,
Okay,
Westphalia.
they could bring up fucking Victoria too. It doesn't matter.
Wait, have you played
So
that one too?
you can you engage with my points or not?
Okay. I'll try my best. So we were talking about
Definition of a nation
the
and then the
nation.
definition of a nation state.
So what happens just out of curiosity? What happens if a definition changes over time to adopt a
Okay,
colloquial
but
use?
okay, if it changed over time, you have to show me the historical change over time.
Okay.
You have to show me evidence for that.
Okay. So my evidence is that nobody, and I mean nobody that I've ever talked to outside of neo-Nazis, considers the term nation state to have an ethnic component. They're referring to the geopolitical
Yes.
bloc, not
Anytime. Okay, so why is everybody in Europe against Muslim immigrants and shit?
because they're xenophobic.
Okay, but where does that xenophobia come from?
From
Why aren't Jewish people in a lot of parts of Europe considered citizens sometimes?
why are you
Like
wait, hold on, really
why was
quickly.
that like an issue for a very long
Why are
time
you
in Europe?
singling out Europe as though countries all
Because
over
that's
the
where
world
it
aren't
originated
xenophobic?
from. And
Wait,
we could no,
wait, hold on, wait.
Okay.
Wait. I'm
Okay,
just
we
wait,
could
just
talk
out of
about like
out of
something
curiosity.
like Kenya or Bolivia where they don't have a nation, a concept of a
Wait,
nation the same way Europe does.
Wait, do you think there aren't ethnic conflicts in Africa?
Yeah, but they're ethnic, not national. Do you know the difference between an ethnicity and nation?
I do.
Turkey
Yeah.
is a nation, but the Turkic people are an ethnicity. So like people like the Kazakh people, Azerbaijanis, they're Turkic ethnicity, but they're not Turkish nationals.
And there are nationally Jewish British people and ethnically Jewish British people.
No, not really. That accepting
Whoa.
Jews as part of your nation
Holy
is a
shit,
relatively new concept. Yes.
Guys.
What do you think the Holocaust happened, bro? Like,
Oh,
where do
do
you
you
think
think
that
it
all that
happened because the white people of Europe had enough? I don't know. I don't know why you
It's
think
not,
it
first of
happened.
all,
I
it's
think it
not
happened
white
because of
people of Europe.
anti-Semitism.
It's the German race
There's no
that.
German race.
Oh my, yes, German ethnicity. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, I guess there isn't really that either. There are like lots of ethnicities all over the world, right? Like there are hundreds,
Yes,
thousands in America.
yes, but not every ethnicity has its own nation. Do you consider Israel a nation state?
I consider all nation states a nation
Do you
state.
consider Iran a nation state?
Yeah. I'm gonna anything that's in the UN. I'm
Oh,
gonna consider a nation
okay,
state.
so
Yeah.
what's Iranian nationality?
Well, Iranian.
Where does that come from?
The nationality is prescribed by the nation state. It's the nationality, like
No, but
nation.
where does it come? Where does the standard language come from?
The standard
Why is
language just comes from
why is
whatever was
the
popular in
French
the area
language
beforehand.
the French language as it is now?
That's a very complicated question. There are a lot of ways
No,
to
no,
answer that.
yeah,
How
but
did the whole
if you
language happen?
understand the
Well, shit.
development of a nation state, you would know how through administ how the first administrators used a specific form of the French language, which was located around the capital of Paris. I believe I forget the name. It was a France. Oh, God, I forget the exact name. But there were other French languages in France before the French language became what it is now.
Okay.
Like people in
Okay.
southern France spoke a different version of French, or people in like, I don't know, the Alps probably spoke a different version of French. Or like you could look at
Yeah, in America, we speak different versions of English. The
no,
English that people speak.
not in the same way. It'll be like how
AAVE?
Eastern Ukrainians speak a different version of Russian than Russian speakers do, or Belarusians speak a different version of Russian
No,
than
there
what
are significant linguistic differences between different dialects of English just in the United States. AAVE
Not
or
really. That's not
yeah,
that different.
it's not the
And
most
also,
different in the world, but there are some big differences.
also,
Yeah.
if why are white people called Americans, but Africans or descendants of slaves called African Americans, or Chinese people who've lived here for multiple generations are still called Chinese Americans?
Well, you can also call white
Why do you need
people
a
like
hyphen if they're all part of the same nationality?
well,
Shouldn't they just be called Americans?
because when you're saying that, you're often referring to ethnicity. Like I'm called an Irish or a
No,
Polish American.
I'm from Ukraine. My ethnicity is half Slavic. How is that?
Slavic. I think you can get a
No,
bit more specific with the ethnicities than Slavic. That's a very
no.
broad
Okay,
category.
Eastern Slavic. Sorry.
Oh, there we go. The specificity is returned. You can call people Irish or Italian Americans. We say Italian Americans all the time.
But nobody actually calls themselves that unless they want to show their heritage.
They do, though.
But
No,
if,
like America's pretty racist, and I do feel like I hear people say like Italian American or Polish American around as often as I hear like Taiwanese American or Chinese American.
No.
It probably depends on the
The
community
only
you're
time
in.
I hear it is when they want to make a show of that they're from a certain part of the world or something, or they
That's what they
know their
all
roots.
do, yeah. Because
But
where I grew up, like
but for African Americans,
get
for
called
American
American.
Black people, they're just called African Americans no matter what.
Well,
For
they
Chinese
also get
Americans, for
called
Latin Americans, they're just still called
they also get called
Latin.
Americans. Like a black person in America will be called an American, but African American is a more specific subset.
Why
in
are
the
they a
same way.
second-class citizen though?
Well, because
Don't
of
you think
racism.
that's a dialectic between the nation and the state going on there?
No, racism.
Why not?
Wait, racism predates the nation state. I mean, it's
No, it
obviously.
doesn't.
Wait, yes, it absolutely does.
Racism is a concept that was created around the same time as the nation state
No,
was
even
actually
the
being
modern
created.
scientific notion of racism, scientific giant finger quotes, was around a 17th century construction,
No,
and that predates the
no,
modern nation
it's
state. We
actually
still have
earlier
feudal
than.
kingdoms
Okay,
back
first
then.
of all, I think you might be a bit off on that. I think racism as we know it started during British colonization of the Caribbeans, and I forget the exact like date.
It's abstract and it takes time to develop, but it was around the time that
but you know, like
mid-age
in
of sail,
America,
like
we
transcontinental
didn't.
or Atlantic slave trade.
The first African slaves that came to America, like the 13 colonies, they weren't slaves. They were like indentured. They were treated as indentured servants. But over time, after Bacon's Rebellion, there were black codes introduced that separated poor white people from black people, and like
I promise you, we had slaves back then.
we it's a they were treated more as indentured servants
but
at
nation,
the time.
no, I promise you,
If you go to the African American Museum in Washington D.C., they'll explain it to you better than I can right now.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I mean, I've been there, but I'll keep that in mind the second time I go. So
But
our
you still
modern
haven't given me a
conception,
definition of a nation state.
a
Like
nation
what
is just a
constitutes
colloquial
as a
country.
nationality? Okay, where does the concept of a nationality come from?
A nationality is just when you're associated with a nation. That's your nationality. Nationality.
Okay, so where does a nation come from? Is
It's just
Rome is Rome a nation? Was the
It's not
Kingdom of Two
around
Sicilies a nation?
No, those ideas.
Was
Rome
the
was an empire.
Polish Lithuanian
The
Commonwealth
modern
a
conception
nation?
of a nation state is modern. It doesn't like
Okay,
track
so
perfectly
when you
onto
say
feudal
modern,
kingdoms.
what does that mean? Do you mean pre-French Revolution, post-French Revolution?
Oh my god, I can smell the EU off this.
Dude,
The modern
I have a
understanding
degree in
of
history
a
with
nation. I don't
focus in
believe you.
European history.
I don't believe you for a moment.
Yeah,
So
sure,
that's
whatever.
what every person who plays Victoria, EU, or Hearts of Iron says. I don't believe you.
No, we just
So-
have a
No,
lot
I
of
know
people
everyone.
who
No, I
like
know you've
history
beaten
are
them on
like
very hard. Okay,
fucking
no, it's
paradox games. Of course,
Okay.
they're actually pretty fun to play.
I've
I don't understand.
heard the stories. The modern conception of a nation state is tied to the modern understanding of a nationality, which doesn't
Okay,
track
but
on
where
the
does
wait,
nationality and all
please.
that come
I'm
from,
trying to
though?
wait. You have to let me. It doesn't
Okay,
track
go ahead.
perfectly onto feudal kingdoms. It used to be that villages and like farming provinces didn't really care that much about what king they were under because territory would change hands all the time, you know? The Germanic territories, like fighting off with France or France and England, or when like each country would invade the other, like villages would just produce farms and lords would take over the nearby castle and you would be taxed by the local guy. The idea of having a distinct identity shaped by the country that you're in, forming distinct borders, that's a modern thing. There didn't used to be like borders around a kingdom. Not really. There were like provinces that were controlled by lords and castles, but that wasn't like a line in the sand.
How centralized the state was at that time.
There wasn't a border and there wasn't a state. There was just a kingdom where a king was top poobah, controlling a bunch of nobles who controlled portions of armies the king would requisition for national endeavors. National finger quotes here, monarchical endeavors. But that's not the same as like the idea of a nation state. There weren't borders and there wasn't nationalism. There was just like a vague idea of protecting your land. And if your king was French or Spanish or whatever else, like that would just be the coat of arms you would wear when defending that land, And even that's like a vague generalization.
The
but that's not a
definition that you get on Google is a sovereign state whose citizens or subjects are relatively homogeneous in factors such as language or common descent.
Yeah, common language or descent.
Okay, but take that a step further.
Like culture. Wait, take that a step. Wait, if you're going to draw a link between culture and ethnicity, then you're like, if you think you're a leftist, like you're making far right arguments to me right now.
Like what? I'm half Armenian, half Slavic. So where do you live? What's my nationality then?
Where do you live?
America.
Have you ever lived outside of America?
My parents are American. They weren't born here.
Were you born here?
They don't barely speak English.
Were you born here?
No, I wasn't born here.
How long have you lived in America?
Few decades.
You're American.
Okay, but are my parents American?
Do they live here?
Yes.
Yes.
That's how you. That's not an actual definition of a.
Yeah. Wait, I'm not defining nation. I'm defining what you are. Yeah, you're American. God bless.
Okay, that's fine. But okay, so my mom is from Azerbaijan, and she's Armenian. What nation is she? What nationality is she?
She can be multiple nationalities.
No.
Yes. Absolutely. Wait. Yeah. Absolutely. You can literally have different.
Armenian.
You can have different nationalities on your passport. Why could you not have multiple nationalities?
Really? So what nationality is she?
What? Well, Armenian, and if she lives in America now, then America.
But she was born and raised in Baku. Azerbaijan. She was
that's
never
rad.
in Armenia.
Oh, the Azerbaijan. Sorry, I misheard. Whatever the one was before and whatever
Okay,
the one
so
was
in
now.
1990, when the USSR collapsed, it did a program against all the Armenians in Baku. Is she still an Azerbaijani?
Yeah, if she wants to be.
That's not how it works.
That's
Do
that's absolutely how it
Azerbaijanis
works.
see her as an Azerbaijani?
Why the f would I care whether or not they see them? There are Americans
That's
who don't see Americans as American because of their fucking skull shape. I don't care what other people think.
yeah, but don't you think that there is like some sort of logic to it, and that's
No,
why
wait, thinking there's a
logic.
logic to it is how you get to the genocides, my
No,
man. You're the one trying to measure skull shapes here.
understanding that nationalism is a disease that should be
Then
eradicated.
why are you so
is
obsessed with it?
why you have to think about some things that make you uncomfortable.
But you're
if you're
the
a
one.
leftist,
Wait,
you
wait,
should
wait.
be going.
None
should
of this
be-
makes me uncomfortable. And wait, thinking that it's logical is the problem. You're the one celebrating nationalism here by
I'm
ascribing
not
it to some
celebrating.
kind
I'm
of
saying it's a
inherent,
disease that should be
defined.
eradicated.
Then stop thinking about. I don't care. I don't think about people's nationalities at all.
I don't care what you don't think. We're talking about what other people are thinking and how everybody else describes it.
You're thinking about it a lot.
When a German sees a Turkish person in their country, do they see, oh, that's a German? Or do they like, oh my God, these immigrants,
Depends
they're
on how racist
invading
they
our
are.
country. They're destroying our culture, our heritage, or whatever.
That depends on how racist they are.
So you think
that's literally the answer? Yeah, if they're not xenophobic.
Not.
No, wait,
not.
wait. That's literally the answer. If they're not xenophobic, then they'll see
Germans,
like, oh, a German with a
think,
kebab. And then if they are xenophobic, they'll think like, oh, a Turk with a kebab. Like that's it. It's
would they see the? Oh, you don't understand. You actually don't understand the relationship. It's actually kind of weird because like you're white and like.
Well, I'm not white. I'm Polish.
Oh God, that's even worse. Oh, by the way, shouldn't you be proud of? Shouldn't you be happy that Russia's invading Ukraine? You might get Eastern Galicia back.
No, I'm an American. Why the f would I care?
Oh, so now you're an American.
Yeah.
So so you don't actually know what a nation is.
Wait, Polish American means that you're American. You know that, right?
It means you're an American citizen with a Polish descent. That's why they keep referring
you are
to
more obsessed with blood and soil than any leftist should be.
I'm really not.
Yeah, you are. You care about it so much. I don't care about any of this shit.
You will never understand why certain people, why racists or
I do because they're racist. Yeah, I do because they're brain poison like you are. I'm saying you're part of them. I know why they do it. I just think it's funny that you, so-called nationalism hater, are so obsessed with trying to impose a taxonomical understanding of ethnicity and nationhood exactly the way the 19th century phrenologists were.
Okay, so when the country of Georgia declared independence, why didn't it see South Ossetians as part of its nation?
I don't know anything about the history of Georgia. I can't say.
Okay, I'm trying to, but you don't know any history, so I'm trying to find.
I'm
like
sorry,
examples.
I don't know the history of post-secession Georgia.
You know about Germany? Why was Germany unified as? Why was Germany unified the way it was, but didn't include like Austria or like Swiss Germans or like that German minority in Belgium?
It's very complicated. It probably had to do with a wide variety of like who was in power in what areas and what like cultural divisions there were in what areas and what historical divides people might have.
Alsace Lorraine French or German?
I don't know where that is.
But how are you supposed to define nationalism or
because
nation
state? It's like race or gender. Because it doesn't matter. It's like race. It's like
you don't understand their structures.
No,
structures
you're the one obsessed.
How are you supposed to criticize them if you don't understand like?
You're like a guy with the skull of like a black slave, like tapping your fingers on the cranium going, well, how can you expect to overcome racism if you are unfamiliar with the 17 points of cranium neurological damage present on this specimen?
I don't think you understand what racism is either.
No, but the problem
think anti-white, when people are anti-white,
wait, hold on, wait.
Racist.
You're drinking the Kool-Aid right now. Like you're mentally invested in the systems of control that are deliberately incoherent. My only interest is in humanitarian well-being. I don't give a what people's nationalities or ethnicities are. They're general terms we use to approximate people's, like, and by the way, they're self-imposed as well. You can't, like, prove a person is or isn't an American if they've lived in America for some time. If there's a person who lives in America, but they're just here kind of as a tourist, they've been here for a few years, and I'm like, you're an American. They're like, nah, I'm not really. Like, I'm a Spanish
Please
guy. I'm just here in America.
talk
But
to
if they were like, yeah,
any
I'm an American,
Spanish person or any
what?
non-white person,
This isn't an
except
answer.
maybe black people in America, and they'll tell you how often they get the question is like, "Oh, where are you from?
I know.
Where are
Wait,
your
I know
parents
that.
from?"
Wait, yeah, there are
That's like
people
a
who are
very common
racist.
question.
Yeah,
That
there are racists
no, that's not
in
that's not
America.
something. That's not even something a overtly racist person would say.
No,
That's just how
it's
people
a
think.
subtle, right,
That's called
through,
nationalism.
no, that it's,
Yes, it is.
no,
That's not and
that's
socialization
believing,
you get through your lifetime
that's
because you live
believing
in a
that because a
certain
person
national
is of a
state or
given
nation
race,
state.
that's believing that because a person is of a given race, they're not naturally a part of your nation, which is racism. The belief that a person is of a different skin
No,
tone and
that's not
not
first of all,
from here
that's
is by
first of all,
definition racism. That,
if
but you're
you're
defending it. You're saying that's not
I'm not
racism. That's just the
defending.
logic of nationalism. Like, you're the one actually, you're like legitimizing that logic. You're like, well, that's not racism. Like, that's just
I'm not.
naturally
I'm
when you see
saying
a
this is
black
what people
person in,
believe in, and
yes, and
if
people
you
are racist. Yes, people believe in racist
like
things.
if you're
Yes,
if
I,
you,
I
you don't
agree.
okay, but I'm not saying racist people believe this. I think this is what
It,
normal people believe
what,
too.
you're defending racism?
I'm
Okay,
not. I'm
dude,
defending.
go up to one of those people who keeps getting the "you're not from here" bit and be like, that's not because of racism. It's just natural for Americans to look at your skin tone and
I'm
assume you're
not
not from
saying
here."
that. I'm saying
Dude,
that we're
you just said it's
socialized like
natural.
that because nationalism is
Socialized
bigotry
into
by default.
racism. Socialized into racism. Yeah,
No,
that's
they're
how racism
socialized
works.
into nationalism. America specifically, yes, racism. But in Germany, I don't think an average person would technically be a racist. They'll just be a bigot or a xenophobe or some
Wait,
sort
a
like that,
bigot?
or a
Wait,
nationalist.
what do you
They're
call
called
a bigot?
or like a nationalist or an ultra
What do
nationalist.
you
That's what they
call a
usually call
bigot
them.
when the bigotry is aligned along skin tone? Do we have a term for that?
Okay, if it's along skin tone, yes, but we're not talking about only skin tone. We're talking about ethnicity.
So that could be a kind of xenophobia, not necessarily racism. That's common in like the
Yes,
Balkan
that's what I'm
area.
trying to say. That nationalism by default is xenophobic.
Well, wait, I agree with that. I'm not a
That's why
nationalist.
you should not. Yes, you are,
No,
bro.
I'm
What the
not.
hell? I just heard you talk about American unipolarity and you're not a nationalist?
That
Come
is
on.
correct.
And you're supporting Taiwanese separatism and you're not a
Wait,
nationalist? Oh
wait,
my
please, wait,
God.
hold on. I can't,
And
wait, hold on.
you're
Please,
supporting Ukraine, which is a
please.
nation state, and you're not a nationalist.
Bro, you claim to be opposed to racism, but when you said that that black guy was subject to police brutality, didn't that require acknowledging race?
Also,
And you say you're against race as a
do
concept.
you understand what
Wait, okay, hold
how
on. Wait,
do
really,
you
really
understand the
quickly. Wait, really quick.
contradiction
Wait,
between
can we? Wait, please.
supporting a nation
Wait,
state and
you
calling
won't
yourself
stop
a
talking.
social?
So I'm just gonna mute you for a second because I'm not gonna make a point while I'm muting you. Can we calm for a sec because you are nonstop running. We're just taking a quick reset. I'm not even gonna make a point. Okay. Okay, I've unmuted. Are we okay? Because you're like train running, and the problem is you've moved so quickly that you have train run into retardville and then blown past it, and we're in full on
You can't even
like.
define a nation
Wait,
state.
hold on. We're like
You're just
past
going off based
retardville right
on
now. No,
vibes.
it's okay. Wait, just I want you to calm down because like there's a cliff eventually at the end of this that you're going to run off of, and you need to not. Okay, so
Come on,
it is
explain to me.
possible. Okay, so it is possible to not be a nationalist, but also oppose invasions of countries. Do you need me to elaborate on that?
No, that's not what you're doing though. You're supporting Ukraine. You're supporting Taiwan. And I
So
oppose the Russian
supporting
invasion of
Ukraine
Ukraine, but
to
I do
defend
not support
themselves.
Ukraine. I oppose a violent reunification of Taiwan and China, but I do not support any Taiwanese
Okay.
nationalism.
So if you oppose an invasion of a country
Doesn't mean you're
that
supposed to
means,
support it.
well, you should
Support the other
support
side.
the defense against
You
that.
have a Slava Ukraine. You have a Slava Ukraine. Oh my God, bro, that's a fucking fascist slogan. How are you,
Okay,
bro?
so let's
You're socialist. That
slow
is
down.
a fascist slogan. Slava
Slow
Ukraine.
down. Slow down,
Oh
Mr.
my
Skullshape.
God.
Slow down, Measurehead.
Wait,
Okay,
does it say Geroyam
it's okay.
Slava? Oh my God, the full one too. If you said Slava Ukraina, do you have you muted or are you?
No, I don't have
These
you. I
are
don't have you muted. You're just like soy raging over
okay,
our
yeah,
glorious
because these are
People's Republic of
Slava
Ukraine.
Ukraina. Maybe you could get away with it by saying, "Oh, it's originally by a famous Ukrainian writer." But Geroyam
Everyone-
Slava is literally a Bandarite saying.
Everyone post the
was-
Azov Battalion emotes that I had prepared for this moment. Get
Oh
them
my
out already.
bro! You know it's not only Azov Battalion in there. You know there's like Right Sector.
No, we support
Kraken.
all of the Nazi armaments there. Okay, so let's roll back a few points here. So if you
have a nationalist, an ultra nationalist.
So if you oppose an invasion of a
fuck?
country, if you oppose an invasion of a country, okay? So that means the invasion is bad, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
doesn't mean the other side is good though.
So hold on. Defending against the invasion, therefore, would be good.
Not necessarily. Depends on what you're defending.
Okay, against the invasion.
No. Depends what you're defending against the invasion. I'm not going if China invaded America, would you defend American nationalism?
I would defend glassing China. What's the question?
So would you defend
I would exhaust our nuclear armaments, reducing the entire continental China to a smoldering pit. What was the question?
No. Serious question. Would you take up arms against China if it invaded America?
Would I personally take up arms?
Yeah. Or would you support the army?
It would be the end of the world. I would probably be drafted.
Suppose there was no nuclear weapons involved. Would you support the invasion of America by China? I mean,
no.
Sorry, let me reword that. Would you support America if it was invaded by China?
Yes.
As America stands as now. So as America is now, you support that.
I would support us defending ourselves against China. And then also a subsequent invasion of China. And then a 50-year occupation of China.
But
and then they would be the 51st state. Yes,
you would defend a white supremacist nation against China because...
Out of curiosity, have you ever accused Floyd of being like a rapist and a fentanyl addict?
Who's Floyd? Oh, you mean George Floyd?
Okay.
No, what the
Oh, well, hold on. Stick with my point here. So do you think it was bad when a cop held his knee down on Floyd's neck and killed him, murdered him?
Yeah, but I'm also anti-cop.
Oh, it's great. Hey, me too. Okay, so you think the cop shouldn't have done that?
Okay, can you just
I'm asking. Wait, I need to go point by point with you because if we take even like 2 steps
I'm against police brutality.
Okay.
And
so do you think it would have been good if Floyd could have like knocked the cop off his neck, like twisted his back, like to knock the cop off, and he would have lived? Like, do you think that would have been good?
So wait. So
like if Floyd could have like twisted his back to like knock the cop off of, like gotten a hit in, like, you know, and he would have lived.
Are you asking if I think George Floyd should have killed the cop or something that?
No, I'm not doing a euphemism. Like literally, like knocking the cop off him, like to get him off and killing him.
I support self-defense, but
but
that's not. You're going to connect it to. Wait. First of all.
Whoa, wait, hold on. One question. Wait, one question at a time. Wait, no, stop. Don't run ahead. Don't run ahead. Don't stop. Don't run ahead. No, please. We're almost there. No. You can't. It's too late. You're in the trap now. You're in the trap already. You can't get out. Okay. Wait, explain what? Wait, are you pro or against self-defense?
No, I'm pro self-defense.
Okay,
against
that's it.
Cops.
No, wait. Okay.
Specifically against cops.
Just against. Okay, specifically against cops, but in no other circumstances.
It depends what circumstances.
Not against the military.
Again, depends on what we're talking about.
Okay. So do you
gotta give a more... I'm not unilaterally like, oh, we should kill everybody or some shit like that. You have to give me like a good context and like a good example of what you're trying to explain.
Sure. So let's take a topic of yours that you may be less familiar with, okay? Let's say there's a woman, all right? And she's out in town having a great time, okay? And then somebody tries to rape her. It's not good, I assume. We're Okay, we're on this together. Okay. So the woman not wanting to be raped hits the rapist. This is good, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you
Well,
comparing rape to an invasion of a country? Because you
no,
do
well,
realize
no, because
a
a
state
rape.
is different than like
No,
conflicts between people.
you're right. The difference is the Russian army rapes many people. We're only talking about one rape here, so this is
I
way
mean,
less.
I
Okay,
mean,
so
I don't doubt that, but then again, there was that one Ukrainian lady that got fired for not finding any Russian rapes a few months ago.
I have no clue what you're talking about. Do
Oh,
you
okay, don't worry. You should
dig
look that up.
through evidence to find defense of nothing. We're not getting off point. Okay. So,
No, I'm
no,
just
it's okay. No, it's okay. I know. I'm
well
sure you spent a
informed
lot of
about
time
what's going.
researching exonerations of claims of war crimes against the Russian
No,
military.
I just
So,
read
read
about
out
the
from
fucking
what
conflict.
news source do you get that actually? Never mind, answer
I,
that when I'm done. So anyway, so it is good to defend yourself against that. Great. Now, what if it turns out that the woman who's defending herself against that is also I don't know, let's say a banker. Do we dislike bankers here?
okay, what's your point?
Like a bank, do we dislike bankers here? Like
Oh,
when a person works
what
at a
kind
bank.
of a banker? Okay, what
Think of it.
kind of
Let's say a
banker?
cop. Let's say a cop. Like they're an off-duty cop. How about that? They're an off-duty cop.
Okay.
Okay. But then someone
Why
tries to
was
rape
she
her.
raped though? Was she because she was a cop or because she was just like a random person?
Wait, do you think it's okay to rape lady cops?
I don't care about cops. If somebody's targeting you because you're a cop, I hope you get a humane treatment. Do you not do you think it's okay for cops to just shoot up people? Do you think that institution is okay
Where
to
does your
exist?
brain
Do you think
where
people who
does your brain go,
participated on
man?
that?
Where does your brain go? I
No,
think
I
it's
I
bad when
think
cops kill people, and also it's bad to rape people. I
yes, it's
have
bad
both
to
of those,
rape
but
people,
I
but I
actually
also
hold
wouldn't
both of those
spare my
beliefs.
sympathies for like a cop who got fucked over because she was a cop.
Okay. So you
Like the
think
same
it's
way I don't
okay?
care if okay, let's say an American soldier just came back from his tour of
There's
Iraq
no
and
digging out of this pit. You might as well just stop talking.
An Iraqi comes up to them and shoots them in the face. Do you think they're justified for shooting
We're not talking
a
about shooting occupying soldiers.
no, no,
We're
no, no.
talking
They
about
came back to
raping.
America and there's an Iraqi refugee that sees a veteran. They get pissed the fuck off and they shoot him. Do you agree with that
No.
sentiment? Why not?
You're not running me down your path, dude.
No, no, go ahead.
These
Okay,
no,
you
no, go.
see,
No,
you
I'm
see.
not. Wait,
Oh,
you
I
can. It's
got
fine.
you, bro.
You know what?
Go ahead.
We'll
Explain why
let the
that's
audience
okay or not
decide.
okay.
We'll let the
Explain
audience decide
why a Iraqi
whether no, because
refugee cannot kill a Iraqi veteran.
you're running off the point right now. We'll let the
No, it's
audience
the same
decide.
point.
I'm
You
just gonna
just said.
mute you because you literally don't stop talking. We'll let the audience decide whether or not being pro rape and murder is wrong. He's still talking. He's still talking. Okay. Okay, so the audience will decide that.
Okay, no. Tell me. Do you think
Oh my
it's
God.
okay for an Iraqi refugee to kill a U.S. Army veteran that served in Iraq? Yes or no? Do you think that's
Yes,
justified?
I do think that's bad.
You think that's bad? Why? Why do you? I think it's bad. I think if getting raped is bad too, but I don't personally care if that
You do
happens to
think
them.
it's so you think it's bad, but you don't care? Wouldn't that mean you
Yeah, I
don't
don't
think it's
care because
bad?
if you do fucked up shit and somebody goes and punishes you for it, even if it's a
Wait, how do they know they did fucked up shit? As a vet, like 2/3 of vets are non-combat personnel. They might not have even
okay,
served in the same
dude,
tour.
okay,
could have
first of
quit.
all, that's a dumb excuse. Wait,
They could
Let
have
me
stopped
explain to
fighting out
you
of
why that's
conscientious
a dumb
objection. They could
excuse.
have been wounded
Because
2 weeks into the
logistics is the
war.
most important part of the army.
They
If
could
you
have been a
can't
medic.
get your if you can't get ammo into a soldier's arms or
So
gun or whatever, or you can't feed your soldiers,
okay,
they can't fight.
we're
So
running way off the
non-combat.
point. We're running way off the point
But
here.
I'm trying
No,
to.
no, but you keep trying to, like, you'll say insane shit and then you'll spend 5 minutes trying to justify. You make yourself sound
No,
worse in the process, and then we go to another diversion.
but you
We were
still can't
talking about
explain.
we were talking
Okay,
about
yeah,
whether
you
or
still can't
not
give an
it's
an
good to
explanation.
support Ukraine defending itself against Russia.
No,
So if
I'm
you
saying
think a
whether it's good
thing
or
is
not,
bad,
as a socialist, to take the position of, hey, we should support a nation state.
we should. Well, you realize you're supporting a nation state when you support like the one China principle, right? Like you are
No, that's not a
parroting.
nation state. China has 56 recognized ethnicities. It's a multi-ethnic state. It's a multi-ethnic, multinational state by definition. You're
This
just
is
you
well,
don't even know
earlier in
what
wait,
you're talking.
were you here watching the stream when I said that people like you are more like solipsistic than Holocaust deniers? I
Oh,
appreciate you coming on to support my talking point, like in the
okay,
moment.
explain to me how China is a nation
We
state.
did. We already talked about this. We can't keep doing this, man. We
No,
can't.
no,
I
no.
don't have any
Explain to me
skulls for you to measure. I
why
don't,
is Germany a nation state and why is China a
because they're
nation
called
state?
because a
Explain.
nation state is just a geopolitical bloc that we
No,
have.
it's not.
Right? Yeah. Though. Yeah, it is. Well, this 19th century racist said actually that a nation state is when people of the
let me
same
give you a
humor
socialist example.
occupy this a socialist example. Oh, can you
Okay,
find anything
so
in Marxist literature that describes a nation state as having a uni-ethnic component? Also, how can America be a nation state if we have like a ton of
because it's
ethnicities?
based on race.
Oh, can you find that in the Constitution?
No, that's
Oh.
why history is important, my dude.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. So
That's why history is important to understand.
when we defer to the
This is
Constitution,
literally historical
we
materialism we're
defer to
talking
the
about at this point.
Constitution. Wait, can you define
No,
historical
we do not.
materialism?
First of all, I wasn't deferring to the Constitution. I was giving
You
you
defer to
evidence
Chinese
to why
Constitution.
China. Yeah, I was giving you evidence to why China is not a nation state.
So my
The
evidence
same
that
way
America
when
doesn't
people call
recognize any single
Taiwan
ethnicity as
Taiwan an
American is
independent
that it doesn't
country,
mention
I'm
the
explaining to
Constitution.
you how their constitution still says the Republic of China and how their flag still has the KMT symbol on it.
Okay. So America's Constitution doesn't recognize any single ethnicity or race as the only holders of the country.
Okay, so do you think America is a white supremacist country?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not in the Constitution.
Yeah, it's almost like what the Constitution says has very little to do with the ethnic convictions of the country itself. China, famous for never having any internal
Oh my
ethnic,
God.
religious, or racial problems. But if the Constitution says that they're not racist, you know.
I'm not saying the Constitution is saying it's not racist. I'm saying
Why'd you just ask about racism in America then?
I'm trying because your example is stupid, and I'm trying to explain to you how your example is stupid because I'm trying to say that
just talking about like let's go to the constitutions. Oh wait, that doesn't work to support my point. Never mind.
Autonomous regions?
Let's go to material reality. Oh wait, material reality argues against my point. Never mind. Let's go to the next one. You know, like rapidly dropping and
or
adopting.
You could. Okay, so in
Is it getting
China,
tiring?
there are autonomous prefectures like Xinjiang, Tibet, many others.
If only the people
I think there's a Korean autonomous prefecture. They have their own language rights. They speak their own language. They could practice their religion for the most part. There are obviously asterisks involved with what I'm saying because, like,
wait, are you bragging about freedom of religion? Wait, you realize you can do that everywhere in the U.S., right? Everywhere in the U.S. Whereas in Xinjiang, if you have a beard, they fucking arrest you and put you in a camp. Here in America, in glorious America, you can be whatever religion you want.
That's a propaganda point. That's not even true about the beard. You could look at so many Chinese TikToks of like random people in Xinjiang.
Oh, Chinese TikToks from state operatives. Yeah, I usually get my news from the from TikTok.
And unlike
they're literally from state operative. They literally, the people like, here's me with my TikTok, and they literally are like working for the CCP. Yeah, I've seen those TikToks, by the way. They're very convincing at negating the apartheid in the Xinjiang province.
So and like back to my point. So China has autonomous prefectures. Does America have any autonomous regions?
What do you mean by what does the autonomous prefecture give you?
It gives you language rights and the ability to practice your culture. No, we don't, because do Native Americans have their own autonomous prefectures? Do they have any representation in the government?
And second of all,
are you going to say
people can practice? Wait, native people can speak their language and practice their religion anywhere in America.
That's all been wiped out. What are you talking about?
They can. They have the right to.
What percentage of Native Americans speak their native language as their first language?
Wait, that's not. Wait, we're talking about whether they have the legal right to. That's what you were referring to.
but yeah, but that this is where legal and reality have to kind of
So wait, then
come
why are you
together.
talking about the legal? You're like, in glorious China, in some areas, you have
And I'm
right
not
to
even
speak
defending China.
language.
I'm just giving you an example. I could use the
Wait,
Russian
so you,
Federation.
so you
It
said,
has Republic of Chechnya in there, Republic of
uh-huh.
Dagestan, Tatarstan, Beirut. They all have. Does America have any of that?
Why would we need Tatarstan? We already have
Why?
retards like
Why?
you.
How many Native American tribes are in
Well, I
America?
thought we had a constitution, lads. We don't have Tartaristan and Stanistan. So I guess
Holy
actually
shit!
we're below the
Ever
Russian
heard of
federal.
states?
What
Okay,
the
so
are you
hey,
talking about, dude?
Hey, Orange Argus. Where's the state of the Navajo? Where's the state of the Cherokee?
What?
Where are
Wait,
those states?
where are the
Don't
Cherokee?
native?
Where are the Cherokee in the Russian Federation? Curious. What
Wait,
the are you
you're just
talking about? I have no
I'm
clue what point you're even
I'm
attempting to make right now.
I'm
I
trying
have
to explain
no
to you the
idea.
difference between a state, a nation state, and like a multinational state.
They're all
Like,
they're all multi-ethnic nation states. Yeah,
no, they're
PogChamp.
not.
Yeah, they are based.
So
Well,
America,
hey,
a
I
nation
can't
state.
help but notice that they're part of the United Nations. Somebody should check up on that wording. Curious.
Jesus.
Mmm. Really
You're
makes you
trying to
really
you're
gurgles
just
my
trying to
guts.
hide the fact that you can't even
The
define
UN
a
conspiracy
nation.
to rename all nations into nations really shits my
Let's see
pants,
what
doesn't it?
your Wikipedia says.
Well, we've truly the
A
leftist argument.
multinational state where no ethnic group dominates, such a state be considered multicultural state, a
What?
city state. I'm looking at nations, the Wikipedia for nation state. Maybe you should read it before you talk, because I know you like Wikipedia.
A sovereign state, okay? Oh, like Taiwan,
Okay.
whose citizens or subjects, okay, following so far, are relatively homogenous, okay, in factors such as language or common descent. Where does it say it has to be uni-ethnic?
What does homogenous mean?
Relatively homogenous in factors such as? Why doesn't it just say one ethnicity? If that's the definition of a nation state, they could just say
Yeah, but
one ethnicity.
you could infer what they mean.
I got you. So yeah, so Wikipedia disagrees with you, as long as you're willing to
No.
do a little bit of brain math, right there in the noggin.
Oh my god.
Infer.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
I
Wait.
mean,
What is this? Complexity. The relationship between a nation in an ethnic sense and a state can be complex. The presence of a state can encourage ethnogenesis, and a group with a pre-existing ethnic identity can influence the drawing of territorial boundaries or argue for political legitimacy. The definition of a nation-state is not universally accepted. All attempts to develop terminological consensus around nation have resulted in failure, concludes Valery Tishkov, an academic. Wait, is that a Russian academic?
where's your
Wait, where?
Are
Yeah,
you
Russian! So you
still on
have to like
Wikipedia?
them. And
Dude,
they're white. You like that too, right? Walker Connor discusses the impressions
I'm
surrounding
not
the
even
characters of
Russian. What the
nation, sovereign state, nation state, and nationalism. Connor,
The
who
idea of
gave
a
the term
nation state was
ethno-national.
and is associated with the rise of a modern system of states, often called the Westphalian system. I wonder if that's a reference to a treaty I just mentioned.
What are you associated with a term from a few hundred years ago? Yeah, okay. Again, the United Nations is going to have a
I mean,
conniption when
again,
they hear
as a
about this.
Marxist, you should probably care about
Never
something that
update
happened.
definitions and only use 19th century racists for my terms for geopolitics. I
No,
agree. I have some crazy terms
I
that I'm
mean,
about to use
there's
to
a
describe
reason
Asian people. Are you
why.
ready for
There's
it?
a reason
As
why.
a Marxist, every slur you're about to hear is necessary for the liberation of the proletariat.
I mean,
Please stay seated.
Bro, I know you're famous for the tactical slurs, but come on, let's move past that.
No, it's just a really stupid convo. Anyway, what were we
No,
talking about? Listen, this is all because of anxiety about your national identity, I accept you as American, brother.
I do not
I
want to be
accept
an
you as
American.
American. You get to be.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
too bad. America accepts you anyway.
No, I don't think they do.
Here in
Because
glorious
according
America,
to, I'm about to, if another Slavic country attacks another country, I might get my white card revoked. So don't know about that one.
Yeah, well, good thing you could be non-white and American. Only racists disagree with
Yeah,
that.
I'm sure black people love being non-white and
Black
American.
people are literally more American than any group of white people in America. They invented all of our fucking food and music, obviously.
Yeah, that's not how it
Go
works.
wait, hold on. Go up to a black person and tell them, "Yeah, I don't think you're American." All right?
Yeah,
Have a
if you're
great
so
what
American,
city in America do you live in? Because you have to live far away from non-white people for you to think that you can pull this shit with them. Where do you wait? I'm just general area. What city?
I was raised in Brooklyn, okay?
No shot. Okay, you know what? Okay. Fine. I'm surprised. You should. Did you ever try out that line with any of the brothers? I don't think you did. I don't think they'd appreciate that.
First of all, a lot of black people in New York are immigrants from the Caribbean or like West Africa.
I think a lot of the black people in Brooklyn are probably descendants of slaves. You know, like
I'm telling you, at least in my experience, a lot of them are like first gen or like second gen immigrants.
Whatever, man.
From the Caribbean.
Go up to recent immigrants and tell them they're not Americans too. That's always a classic move that non-racist people do.
Oh my God!
You listen. Go up to immigrants and tell them you're not a real American, and you will be in solidarity with the great socialists of the past, like the Klan and like the Confederacy.
It's weird.
You'll be allied with the greats.
The people who are nationalistic are also very racist, right?
Yeah, like you're very concerned about the relationship between race and national identity. I'm
just very surprised that a socialist would take up nationalist positions.
Like you can be any race and still be an American?
That's not even true. If you were an American, you're a second-class citizen if you're not white.
Wait, you can be mistreated by a country but still be a part of that country. I don't deny the historical oppression.
That actually just shows the dialectic between the nation and the state. Because if the state wasn't a nation state, every person would just be a citizen of that state. But because America is a nation state, and what we consider to be American is white, black people and non-white people are considered second-class citizens.
Citizenry is a legal distinction. If you're saying that anyone who's treated poorly by their country because of their demographics can't be a part of that country, that means there have never been any American
I'm saying
women.
they're not fully part of that country because the country rejects them by treating them like that.
I don't think that's necessarily rejection. I think that's just an internalization.
That's a rejection,
dynamic.
bro.
No, wait, hold on. Wait, no, that's not a rejection. That's a suppression. Wait, no.
Americans tell Mexicans to leave their country, that is a rejection of their humanity and their ability to become citizens.
What about women? Women have been treated as second-class citizens for basically all of human history everywhere.
For a very long time, they were treated as men's property. They couldn't vote.
So is that a rejection of women? Like they want women to leave America? Like all the founding fathers are all like jerk-offs?
For a reason. I think it's called a patriarchy for a reason.
I don't disagree. But are they American or are they being rejected by America? Because my argument is they're being suppressed by America while still being American. I think that if you're in America, you're an American, even if you're being mistreated.
Yeah, but no, you're a citizen of America, but you don't have the full rights over a person who's actually an American national.
I agree, but you're still a woman is an American national, even if she's
a white woman. First of all, let's be more specific.
A white woman is still an American national, even if she's being treated like a second-class citizen.
Right, and they do have. Okay, first of all, there's like the idea of early Republican womanhood, where they were treated as second.
So poor Americans have been treated worse historically. Is there only ever like one American? Is the American just the one like current president?
Wait, you're a socialist, so you should know the proletariat has no nation.
Oh my God. The proletariat is international. that doesn't literally mean members of the proletariat can't have a nationality. Marx wrote frequently on the characters of the national proletariat in different
Really? Because
countries,
I
referring to
I
them by their
remember.
nationalities.
I could have sworn in the Jewish question he explained why nationalism is an ultimate failure
Wait, you can
because
say
of
that without being a nationalist. This is you conflating terms, not him. He
what?
wrote on the national character of the proletariat in countries around the world, but he was also an opponent of nationalism, because you can be anti-nationalist while still acknowledging it's possible for underserved members of a nation to be nationals of that nation. Otherwise, like a number of Americans in America would be like what? Like the 1%? Is it only the bourgeois, and then only the white bourgeois, and then even the male white bourgeois, and only then the able-bodied, mentally well white bourgeois in America who are men, and like that's the only real American? This is a ridiculously self-defeating concept.
I mean, if you look at who has the most political rights,
We're
you
not
kind of
talking
have
about
to
who has the most rights. We're talking about who's a national, who's an
Okay,
American.
okay. If you want to talk about a nation as without the state, we could talk about like the Kurdish people.
There is only the
And
nation state in America. You want to talk? Okay, so like Kurdish, yeah.
oh, okay. Actually, if
A
there
separate
is only
national
the
identity.
nation state, when did American nationalism form? Around what period did American nationalism form?
1776, baby.
No, you're wrong. That's
I'm actually right.
American nationalism was born after the Civil War. Before, people referred to them as a New Yorkian, Virginian, Rhode Islander. They refer to themselves as the state they were from, not the United States of
Okay,
America.
so
American
wait,
nationalism,
so
as we know it today, was after the Civil War.
so no, you're
Yes.
correct in the sense that people typically had stronger state identities. I mean, there's a reason the Federalist Papers had to be written. But even back during the Civil War, there was absolutely a unified identity. That's how they ratified the Constitution. There was a unified American identity, and they did distinguish that identity.
No,
It
I think
wasn't
the reason they
Virginians and
not
New Yorkers against
it was the bourgeoisie of Virginians and New Yorkers.
oh
but
my
okay.
God. We know you think you're a socialist. We know we're socialists. We know the
Bro,
terms.
you have Slava
we get
Ukraine in your
we
fucking
get it. Okay,
bot command.
we
You're
know
not a
that
socialist
the
either.
bourgeois are in charge of countries. We're fully aware of this. Okay, it has nothing to do with the point. It's LARPing.
You're LARPing
there was
as
a
an
national.
ultra-nationalist
No, we're
Ukrainian
not.
by
You
having
just don't
the
know what
bot command.
nationalism is.
No, I do know what nationalism.
No, you
because
could
my
wait. This whole
parents actually suffer
convo.
programs.
This
of
whole
their
convo has
national-
been you have no clue. You have like half of your understanding of nationalism is incoherent, and the other half of it is born out of 19th century phrenologist theory. Like your attitudes
that
towards
just goes away.
nationality are legitimately
Also,
identical to some
19th
Nazis I've
century-
talked to. Does that like at all worry you? That like
Well,
I've talked to not like, you know, it's
I'm
my job. I
actually-
argue with a lot of people. Like I've talked to a decent number of Nazis. They're the only ones who are concerned
Okay, so
about
you-
this
that
like
different- so-
ethnic nation state.
But what you're saying is your
definition.
conception of nationalism is like the liberal version of nationalism, I guess, where we're all under one banner
What?
of America. How do you just explain what nationalism is? You still haven't defined it. Like you're just saying, oh, it comes from the state, but where does it come from? Like where
That's
does
it.
language?
It's an arbitrary social category. There are borders drawn on maps. We call those things nation states. When we refer
No,
to
we don't. Not
nationalities,
really. Not all.
Yeah, we do.
Not all states.
Then
Okay,
why is
in
why is
Russian-
it the
in
United
Russian-
Nations and not the
Okay,
United
let me
States?
give you another Russian example.
Oh
In
my
Russian,
God!
there is a
we can't.
difference
We can't.
between
Oh
a Russian
God!
national
Oh
and a
no! It's
Russian
too much
citizen.
universalis.
In Russian, if you're an ethnic Russian, you call yourself a Ruski. If you're a citizen of Russia, but you're like Chechen or Dagestani or like one of the nationalities in Dagestan, you call yourself a Rossiyski.
Okay.
It's because it doesn't translate well into like English for us all the time. We just assume everybody is a nation state, but that's not true.
Okay. You should tell the UN.
You're a fucking idiot, bro. Like,
Isn't it crazy
this
how
is-
the UN doesn't recognize all those little nations in Russia and only calls all of them collectively as the state of Russia, the nation? Somebody should
That's
really
why
tell
it's
them.
called the
That's
Russian
wild.
Federation,
And
not
and they're part
Russia
of
as a
the.
nation.
Are they part of the United Federations? Are they part of the Security Council of the United Federations of multi-ethnic nations within the broader state, or are they called a?
They're called Republic of Dagestan.
Damn, I
They're
thought
called
they were part
Republic
of
of
the
Chechnya.
United Nations. They're getting
Oh,
misgendered by the
wait,
UN.
why?
That's crazy.
Are you saying? Wait, are you taking United Nations literally and
Hey,
saying?
hey, Russia signed up. Sorry, that's if they didn't like the terminology, they shouldn't have signed up with the
Oh
UN.
my God, that is so funny. So
Your position here is completely
your
incoherent.
your position is that because because the governing body, quote unquote, governing body of the world is called the United Nations. Everybody is a nation state in
Yeah, they're all
the
nation
United
states.
Nations.
Mhm.
So it's Israel
Yeah.
nation state.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Why is Israel's also a nation state even though they're like what would you call overtly like overtly genocidal?
Wait, you
And
think nation states don't do genocides? What are you, some kind of
no, I mean,
nationalist?
no, I'm saying your concept of a nation state includes multinational countries and also ethnically homogenous countries.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good descriptor
Well,
for anything.
it's almost like the only people interested in parsing hairs over the specific
No,
ethnic
it's like
lines in a
people who
state
want to
are
understand
racists.
how what structures
I've
control our
never heard
lives.
anyone listen. Nobody needs to know or care about any of this meaningless taxonomical prescriptivism outside of
I'll give you
racists.
another example.
The
I
only
had
people
a
who care this,
coworker. I
the
had a
only people who
coworker
care
back in
this
the
much
day.
about this stuff are people who are looking for excuses to say that other ethnic groups don't belong in their nation. It's not necessary for understanding anything about geopolitics. You're expanding and retracting these definitions at your own convenience
Actually,
because
it
you think
is
you're more
important for
enlightening people
understanding
who have more progressive
geopolitics
ideas on
because
this than you.
It's important for understanding geopolitics because
Okay,
Ukraine.
how much do you know about phrenology?
The Russo-Ukrainian war is a good example of
How much do you know about
understanding.
phrenology?
Can I
How
wait?
much
Can
do you
I?
know about
Why do you
phrenology?
keep bringing up these
How much?
insane comparisons?
That's a
While I'm
great
trying
question. I
to.
don't know why
Okay,
they keep coming up. How much do you
can I
know
use an actual real
about
life example
how
that's going
much
on
do you
today?
know
Ukraine.
about
Do you know about
phrenology?
the?
How
I have
much
no.
do you know?
Other than the jokes on
How
Twitter, I don't know
okay,
shit
so
about
that's fine. I don't know
phrenology.
why it took you so long to answer that, okay? What you're
Because I'm
doing
trying to give you an
what
actual
what
example
you're
of
doing
why,
right
in
now,
certain
what you're
cases,
doing right now, what you're doing right now
I'm,
is like
I'm,
coming at me with an understanding of phrenology and saying, how can you possibly explain race unless you know about this? And I'm trying to explain to you, this is not necessary, and the only people who give a about this are racist. And you're like, okay, but it's still knowledge. Just because something is knowledge doesn't mean it's useful. This prescriptive association between ethnicity and nation, this is the stuff of genocides. You're speaking blood to me right now. Every
no,
person
you're
who's ever
supposed to
justified
understand how these
this is
things
exactly
function
the same
if you're
reason
trying.
why
You're
earlier you were
supposed to.
like, I don't care if a lady cop gets raped, because your mindset is what led like people to mass graves. You think of a person as a part of a group, they're an essentially good or bad
Yes,
thing. Yes, I know
unless
you
you're a
think that.
liberal, you're
You
not supposed to
assign
really pay attention to individualism. We're supposed to analyze
like
systems.
you are the mass grave. You are the executioner. You are the person who
Execution of
stands over
what?
the
I'm
Jew
actually
or the
trying to
Albanian
explain why
or
the
or
concept of a nation is a diseased idea,
no,
and you're
you
trying to say,
are
hey,
the
do you know about
disease.
phrenology?
You are the disease. You are everything that
Bro, you
leads
have
large
Slava
groups of people to kill
Ukrainas,
each other.
Geroim
I know
Slava
you're
as your
very
vodka
mad
man, and you're
about the
talking about
Twitch
phrenology to
emote
me.
while you're justifying genocidal
I'm
ideology.
not. You literally have a fascist
So
slogan
I
as
know
your
you're
vodka man.
obsessed with the Pepe waving the flag while you're explaining why mass graves are justified. You know,
I'm not
we're very
explaining why
concerned.
you're asking.
You literally,
Okay,
I
so
literally
can we
said
go
you
back
think
to
it's
what point I
okay.
was trying to
So
make with the
your
Russo-Ukrainian war
response to me
about nation
saying
states?
you think it's
How
okay to
come?
oh my god, hold on, wait, I'm just going to mute you because he literally won't stop because it's the whataboutism. Like he's like, well, we can't talk about my ideology. We have to move on to the Pepe emote. Nobody can hear you. So your problem is you have essentialist attitudes towards all these categories, and then you're like, yeah, well, it's actually okay to do violence against people if they're part of categories I don't like. You're everything bad about nationalism. He's still going on. He hasn't stopped talking the entire time. If he calms down on mute, like he just won't stop pivoting. Okay. No, you can't make your point. We're talking about your ideology. You've tried to pivot like
So
70
you
times.
don't,
I'm trying to
do
wait.
not even have a
I'm trying to
coherent
talk about.
ideology. You
Okay,
don't
we're
know
doing it
what.
again. All right, we're muting again. I just want to talk about your ideology. I don't care. We've tried like 7 times to talk about what you believe, and you're like, well, what about the Pepe emote? Like, I don't care. Let's talk about what you believe. I'm trying to give you the spotlight. You're unmuted
I
again.
don't
I just
believe
want to
it.
talk about you.
Okay. Can I say something
Is it
about
about
nation
your
states?
ideology?
Yes.
No, is it about
Okay.
Ukraine? Is it about the Pepe?
No, it's about Ukraine though.
No.
Because I'm trying to give
think
you an example of the contradiction within a nation state.
no.
And
We're
I'm trying
talking.
to give you like an example
No.
that's
Please,
ongoing right
please.
now.
We've already talked for like 2 hours. We had other shit in the day. You ended up being more retarded than I thought, and it took longer. But we have to get to the point
Why
here.
did Ukraine want to
Please.
ban the Russian language? Why
Because
does it
Ukraine.
consider Western Ukrainian as the standard Ukrainian language?
Because Ukraine does bad things, and unlike you, I'm not an essentialist. That's why you're like, you believe
Why
that.
did
You think the
Ukraine
world is divided into
reject
good
the
and
Minsk
bad.
Accords that would turn it into a
Okay,
federal
so
state?
we're muting you again. So you didn't even want to talk about something. You just wanted to pivot again. So no, you wait. So because he just tried to say I'm not pivoting, and then I unmute, and he's like, why did this happen? Why did that happen? Okay, no, stop answering. I can't do the thing where I mute them because they still talk to me knowing they're muted. It's insane. So yeah, I guess I'll just talk directly to the audience without listening to them. They're not hung up or whatever. I hate muting people, but he literally will not stop, like running away. The problem here is like this guy, like the problem with this guy basically is that he wants to kill lots of Jews. So there are 2 elements to his identity that make him very dangerous. Not in like the cool way, but in like the very bad way. One of them is that he believes that if you're a part of a group that he's deemed bad, essentialist violence against members of that group is acceptable. He said it would be okay if you raped a female cop because she's like an off-duty cop. That's insane. I'm not even going to waste time trying to explain why that's morally abhorrent. Like, oh yeah, you're a former vet. Yeah, people can just fucking kill you if they're like from Iraq or something. Like, yeah. That's insane. Like, actually mentally ill. Like, he should like she should be looked at by a psych. That's one. The second one is his obsession prescriptively with ethnic associations with nationality. The only people who care about stuff like this are the kinds of people who like really care about like which ethnicity should be in a country. This is a prescriptive belief, not a descriptive one. Descriptively, the definition of nation state is ambiguous and not directly ethnically tied. So why is he so obsessed with a prescriptive assessment of an ethnically backed definition of nation state that was predominantly useful to racists and imperialists? The reason why is because he wants to kill lots of Jews. That's probably why. What country did he say he was from? What ethnic group do they hate? It's probably like some kind of crazy, some sort of revenge fantasy thing. I don't know. Armenian? Armenian? Wait, does that mean he wants to kill Serbs? Wait, hold on. No, wait, that's Albanian. I made that mistake before. Who do the Armenians want to kill? The Turks? Okay, I've got it. Are you still here?
Dude, did you just mute me just so you could go on a tirade about some bullshit that you don't even completely understand?
How many Turks do you
Also,
want to kill?
Armenians
I may or
do
may
not
not
like
be
the
on board with
Turks.
your
If
plan.
you want to know about Armenians and which ethnicities they hate, it's the Turks.
Okay, so how
It's that easy.
in your glorious
My mom
war
says
against the-
Azerbaijan is a fake nationality. That's how much they hate the Turks or Turkic people.
Gotcha. Okay, so how many Turks do you want to kill?
I don't want to kill anybody.
Do you think it's okay to rape a Turkish woman because they're Turks and you don't have sympathy for them?
I said that I have no sympathy.
You heard it right there. I hung up. No, he hung up. I hung up before he could talk about being Turkish women. All right. Sorry, I think that if a person starts justifying rape, whenever I want to hang up is on me. Personally, I think that's a me decision at that point. Whenever someone's like, yeah, like whatever, like I don't like the job they have, so like you can rape. I think at that point I get the right to the hang up button. Ah, he wanted to keep pivoting. That was really fun though. We should do that more often. Want to ban them? Nah, don't ban them. Okay, that was good. Whew. Okay, they can stay in chat. I love them. Get Dylan on. Sorry, Dylan, I love you, but no follow-ups. Are you sure no ban? Yeah. You found a real one in chat? Yeah. Sorry for those of you who wanted me to take that more seriously, but like to be fair, there are limits. There are limits, aren't there? There are there are hard limits on the extent to which I can keep the fences, together. Yeah, it's pretty tough. Yeah, we bounce around a lot of stuff there. So, to be a little bit more specific, historically, the idea of a nation is literally the most ambiguous term, like in all of human history. Okay, so like, what does it mean to make a nation? Ask 50 people and you'll get 52 answers. That's the problem with nation as a prescriptive definition. So I like using the term nation state as like a very meaningless, like blanket, whatever, if it has borders, nation state kind of thing. Because when people start arguing prescriptively over what a nation is, you get really, really, really dangerous arguments. I'm serious. Look online and look for the groups of people who are talking about like ethnic national technicalities. They are like 99% far right nationalists who do want to kill large numbers of people. You know what I mean? You understand this, right? Like, you can go and look for that. It's like a really, and the thing is, it's pointless. You're not actually adding any validity to, like, you're not like gaining knowledge. You're just you're just like forming boundaries to hurt people. He explicitly said the Jews weren't German. Yeah. Like, do you remember earlier in the convo, he literally said, like, yeah, the Jews weren't German. Like, who, that knowledge, that belief, who do you think that serves? You know? The world that guy wants, the world that guy's like logic leads to, is one in which the world is broken up into 7,000 microscopic ethnostates, where people only get to live in areas where their bloodlines can be traced back 5,000 years, and they're constantly warring with each other over land disputes, over like one farmstead that's been around since the 18th century. Um, yeah, the ultra Balkanization, typical of a Serb, not a Serb, sorry, Slav. They want to fucking Slavify the whole world. Are you saying even using these taxonomies is mentally toxic? Yeah. I mean, like, phrenology is a taxonomy after all. Like, not like, just because a taxonomy exists doesn't mean it's useful at all. There are terms and categories that are just like empirically bad and useless. With like no, yeah, with no assistance, or sorry, just no help at all. But do you guys get what I'm coming from, or where I'm coming from here, right? All you had to do is Google nationality and put definition one examples on screen. No, I don't want to argue over definitions. That's not the point. Do you really think that guy would have like chilled with like a definition reading? I read a definition from Wikipedia. It didn't shut him up. The point here isn't about like the definitions. It's about it's about like the arguments that you can make for these ideas. All descriptive assessments are implicitly prescriptive. Unfortunately, language just works that way. Yeah, nationality, the status of belonging to a particular nation, but that's like it's like self-referential, because a nation would be like the nationality or whatever. Anyway, so yeah, to like summarize all of that, like, here's the thing, okay? There is no hard definition for what is or is not an ethnic divide. I think you can make a very strong argument that there are strong ethnic divides in America only between like white descendants of settlers, you know? Like, if we're just talking white people, I think that you can form strong ethnic divides with like Southerners versus like Midwesterners versus like the Northeastern Atlantic, New England area types or whatever. Um, like, certainly rural and like urban areas of America are so culturally different that it feels like not ascribing some kind of ethnic division there is like really, really, um yeah, like pretty weird. But yeah, ethnicity just refers to like different ethnicities can come from like anything. Different ethnicities can be determined by language divides, geographic divides. They can be determined by cultural divides, historical divides. It can be determined by like anything, you know? There are so many ethnicities in the world, and I think that's beautiful. And I think that nation states are just a broad, arbitrary collection of borders drawn, lines in the sand, that kind of tend to vaguely group people of similar backgrounds. But I don't think that's like a prescriptive, everyone in there is one ethnic group thing, right? Because every country that's ever, like, every modern nation state contains multiple ethnicities. Find a true ethno state anywhere in the world. Even Japan. Even Japan has different ethnic groups within it, you know? Um, he was saying it was socially real, not literally real. It's not socially real though. It's not. because there are hundreds of ethnic groups in America probably that Americans would never say they're not American to, you know? It's not socially real. And when people say that bullshit where they're like, I'm not racist for pointing it out, it's just true, it reminds me of what the racists say. This, like, you know, oh, I'm not saying anything radical here, you know, I'm not making any arguments you all haven't already heard. Everyone knows that America's for white people, you know. That's not, I'm not like prescriptively making that argument, just everyone knows, you know. Like, I've heard that from racists before, and it's the implicit you know, it's the implication of prescriptivism. It's very dangerous. Goddamn, dude, you don't listen. Brandy, I love you, but all I did that convo was try not to listen to you. We have a race-based conception of nationalism. Okay, race and ethnicity aren't the same thing, man. First of all. And second of all, even if we have a race-based conception of nationalism, that's no reason to use the racist's definition of nationalism, assuming that was entirely the case, which it's not. You're literally doing the meme. You're like, well, racists consider America to be a white country, so that means America is a white country, you know? Like, do you realize how insane that is? That's literally what you're saying. That's like, that's wild. Like, why would you just give up on that point? Yeah. I don't even think that's true, but like, why, yeah, and that's not even ethnicity, that's race. That's a different, there are tons of European ethnicities that are all totally white. Okay, enough. I'm being descriptive. I literally said nationalism should be eradicated. I don't believe you think nationalism should be eradicated, Brandy. I think you're a fascist. I know that's a hot take coming from me, but I think you're just a fascist. I think you're blood and soil, man. I think you wanna rape Turkish women and kill like Turkish people or whatever your ethnic bugbear is. I don't fucking know. That's wild though. Jews aren't German. You can like, yeah, you've got brain problems, man. Play less EU4. Go outside. Good luck. I think Brandy's very young. He just sounds very young. He'll figure this shit out when he graduates high school. Well, you know, never let it be said that that I held back. How's YouTube chat doing? Oh yeah, everyone, Slava Ukraini. Vaush is a master of the 5 clicks to Hitler debate tactic. True, but also to be fair, he did help me out, didn't he? Jews aren't German. Like that's not a 5 clicks to Hitler. That's a 1 click to Hitler. I think on the Wikipedia page for Jews are not German or can't be German, there would be on that page would be a hyperlink to Hitler. You know, it's right up there. He's trying to call you a Pat Soak while being a Pat Soak. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's the Hitler Cliff Notes statement. You find the Jews aren't German in the Hitler Wikipedia page. Remember, guys, there's nothing more anti-fascist than, that's literally how Germany saw Jews. Why would I say something like, this is a very Hitlerite belief, and you're like, okay, to be fair, though, Hitler did believe it. Why would... What? Why? God. Yeah, Slava Ukraini. Remember, opposing the invasion of Ukraine is meaningless unless you support the defense against that invasion. It's as meaningless as saying that you oppose but do not support like women defending themselves against rapists. It's an absolutely meaningless thing. It's insulting for how meaningless it is. So the Iraqi can kill a US vet because it's meaningless to be against the invasion of Iraq unless you want to defend the invaders? My guy, Barandi, the Iraq war is over. A US vet in Iraq is a vet, not a person currently in the act of invading. This is what I mean by your brain damage right now. This is the essentialism. This is why you want to kill Jews, okay? To you, a person actively raping someone is analogous to a veteran present in a country we're no longer at war with, no longer engaging in military action. In your mind, these are the same things because of the damage. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. But don't ban that person. I like them. And also, they'll come around.